Today, we are going to be looking at a very important topic, which is what is the meaning of human wellness or well being? What is the meaning of human wellness or well being? We are going to be rolling out some data to back up some of the things we are saying. As you all know, that mental wellness or mental illness is a very uh, important subject to talk about. And then the data of mental health crisis all around the world points us in the direction that this is a potential pandemic if proactive actions are not taken. So the question is, what are the mental health concerns around the world? What are the people facing all over the world? Whether you're in Africa, you're in Asia, you're in Europe, you are in America, different people are facing different mental health challenges. And what exactly is the situation? What can we do to salvage the situation? Like I said, mental health breakdown is a big deal, and it's happening all over the world, irrespective of whether there is poverty in that particular country or not. Every nation in the world has their own fair share of mental health problem. And the earlier we all know this, the better it is for the world. What we have in our hand is a global pandemic if care is not taken. And we really need to take proactive action to really be able to salvage the problem at hand. In Africa, for example, it is estimated that between 100 million to 116 million people are suffering from chronic depression and other psychotic illnesses. This is according to the World Health Organization. And if you come to look at it, this is about 10% of the entire African population. In Africa now, we have about 1.2 billion people residents in Africa. And out of this 1.2 billion people, we have about 100 million and 116 million certified to be clinically depressed. And I think this is a major problem in our hand. And that is about 10% of the entire population. And when you come to Nigeria, the situation is even more terrifying. For example, in Nigeria, it is estimated that every 1 in 4 Nigerian is suffering from chronic depression or any other psychotic illness, which means about 50 million people are clinically depressed in Nigeria. Nigeria population as of today is about 200 million people. And if 1 in every 4 Nigerians are said to be clinically depressed with depression or any other psychotic illness, then it means that 50 million out of 200 million people in Nigeria is going through mental health challenge. And this is where we need to act, because if a if a quarter of the population is suffering, and you can tell this is expected because of the economic downturn that we're having in Nigeria, the political instability, and all kind of factors that you can factor into it. So you will expect that the figure is not, and these are very verifiable figures. If you go to the internet, you go to World Health Organization database, you will find all this information there. Now, in the US, where I reside, is not also very encouraging also. So it is not that it is secured in one place and not secured in other places. All over the world, every country has their own fair share of challenge when it comes to mental uh, illness. Now, according to National Alliance on Mental Health Illness, NAMI, it is recorded that 1 in 5 US adults experience mental illness each year. 1 in every 5 US adults experience mental illness each year. That's not the whole story. Now, 1 in 20 US adults, that is according to NAMI, 1 in 20 US adults experience serious, this time not just a mild mental illness, but this is a very serious, dangerous one, serious mental illness each year. And that is not all. Also in US, according to NAMI, 1 in 6 US youths aged between 6 and 17 experience mental health disorder each year. That is very alarming. So it's not just restricted to a particular age group. It's cut across every age group. But the most vulnerable age group are those who are in their youth, those in their teenage years, and those in their young adult years. Those are the most vulnerable age bracket when it comes to mental illness. And also, according to NAMI, that is the National Alliance on Mental Health Illness, 50% of all lifetime mental illness, this is a data to back up what I just said now. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins at age 14. So that is where we need to begin to put our searchlight, because that is when the problem of identity crisis for a young man or a young lady begins, when they begin to figure out things for themselves, when they begin to understand their own place in the world and what they need to do to take their place. Many of them are oftentimes they are confused. They don't know what to do. They have always looked up to their parents, to their relatives, but now it is time for them to step up and take charge of their life, and it can really be very scary for young ones to step into this terrain. Now, in addition to what I've just said, according to NAMI, suicide is the second leading cause of deaths among people between the age bracket of 10 and 14. Can you imagine that? It's not even accident or any other. It's not even accident or any other thing that causes premature death for these young ones. It is suicide. And do you know what is the root of suicide? It is mental illness. Depression is at the root cause of suicide. Everyone you see committing suicide is not normal. They are not in their right senses as at the time that crime is being, or would I say crime, as at the time that act is being committed, they are not in their right senses. They are suffering, they are going through depression. And that is why suicide is the second leading cause of death among people between the age of 10 and 14 in America. Now, this is what some observers have called the situation. They have tagged it a silent epidemic. But having done a bit of research on my own, I have come to realize that this is not just a silent epidemic, but if the situation is not proactively dealt with, undoubtedly it's going to become another global pandemic in our hand, just like we had COVID in the last few years. Now, let's talk about mental wellness. My focus is not really to dwell on the mental illness per se, because uh, that is not the job I want to do, because I want to leave that for the clinical psychologists, the psychiatrists to be able to handle that. They are the one. Uh, they are the one who have the skill to deal with healing people or providing recovery for people with mental illness. But what I am really after as your able mental health coach is to be able to help you to optimize your mind in such a way that it will work in your best interest. That is what I want to do. I want to be able to help you to optimize your mind in such a way that it will work in your best interest. And that is why I am very much interested in mental wellness. So, what is mental wellness? Now, I had a conversation with a friend some time ago. It's been about 3 years or thereabouts. And we were just talking about this subject. And I asked, what is the meaning? How can you best define mental wellness? And this is what he has to say. He said, mental wellness is a positive state of mental health. It is more than the absence of mental illness. So I like you to mark that word. Mental illness is not just, mental wellness is not just being free from mental illness. It is you maintaining a positive state of mental health. That is you being able to utilize your mental well-being in such a way that it will function, your mind will function in your best interest. And that is the reason why I am teaching Executive Wellness Podcasts. I am not just teaching you to be free from mental illnesses, but to allow you to utilize your mind to produce its best, uh, to produce its best at the optimum level. That is all I am after. That is all I am out to do. Now, as I will begin to wrap up, I don't want to, I just want this to be like an intro, and in subsequent edition or episode, we'll be delving more into other topics that I believe will be very helpful to us. So, how can you promote mental wellness? It is important for you to understand that we're not just talking about how to be free from the illness. Being free from the illness is just one part of experiencing mental wellness. You need to take your recovery from just being free from the illness to the level where you begin to produce outstanding results, where people begins to marvel at what you're doing with your life. So how can you promote mental wellness? Now, like every other life endeavor, it is essential to state that sustaining mental health requires time and effort. It's not just something that can happen in a day. It's not just something you go to a doctor today, and after your visit with the doctor, you got your solution in your hand. Or you go to a therapist today, and then after your visit to the therapist, you've got a solution in your hand. It takes time, it takes effort. You have to be able to sustain everything that you know that is helping you to be in a good state of mind. You have to be able to sustain it for a long period of time. In fact, for the entire period that you will live. It has to be a lifetime goal for you to sustain your mental wellness. So it's not just something. It's not a quick fix as something. So to promote your mental wellness, you have to sustain it over a long period of time, and it takes a real effort. You have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you are not going to get the result. You have to put in the work to get stronger, to get better, and to have superior results delivered to you in your daily life endeavor. Now, I'm going to share 12 quick things you can do to enhance your mental well-being. The 12 things you can do to enhance your mental well-being. Number one, you need to learn to be at peace with yourself. That is the reason why many of us are in crisis, is because we are not we have not worked ourselves to that level, or we have not developed ourselves to that level where we don't need order to survive. I know there is need for connection, there is need for socialization, but you need to understand that the first step towards mental wellness is for you to be at peace with yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to appreciate yourself. You need to put value on yourself. You need to embrace who you are. You need to acknowledge the gifts, the talents, the deposits that God has given unto you. So you need to be at peace with yourself. You need to like the way you look. You need to like or love the way you talk. You need to love the way you walk. You need to love the way you do things. I'm not saying you can't learn other ways to help you improve on yourself, but you need to be at peace with yourself. And if you can achieve this, then you are on your way to promote your mental wellness. The number two thing you need to do to promote your mental wellness is to pay attention to your own needs and feeling. It will amaze you to know that sometimes we are more interested in what other people are going through than what we are going through ourselves. We are more interested in taking care of other people than taking care of ourselves. But if you really and truly want to promote a healthy mental wellness, you need to learn to pay attention to your own needs and feeling. And I think my wife will be a perfect example for this. Uh, on many occasions, we have assisted people, we have helped people in one way or the other, but she will always say this occasionally, that I think we need to take care of ourselves. I think we need to do this for ourselves. We need to take time out for ourselves. We need to do this for ourselves. And I cannot agree less with her, because there is no wisdom in taking care of others if you cannot effectively take care of yourself. Because if you are no more, the other people will still survive. And you need to be in your best, if I want to put it, in your best to be able to continue to take care of other people. If you are not in your best, you will not be in a position to take care of other people. So you need to pay attention to your own needs. Don't ignore your needs. Don't ignore your feelings. When your body is telling you to rest, take time off. In my place of work, I don't joke with my time off. When I need to take time off, I take it off. Some people, rather than taking time off, they will ask their company to convert their hours of time off. They will ask the company to convert it to money for them. That is not being wise. That is being penny wise and pound foolish. You need to take care of yourself. The number three, you need to learn how to work towards your goals and objective in life. You need to be systematic in the way you walk towards your goal in life. And this is what has worked for me, and I don't have any problem sharing with you. At every point in time in my life, I always have what I call a 5 years plan, which means for the next 5 years, I had to limit it to 5 years because that is the most visible uh, period you can really uh, evaluate what you are doing. If you set it to be more than 5 years, you cannot really predict what will happen in the future, because the the society that we belong to right now does not allow for having a very long-term plan. In fact, within a year, there could be drastic and dramatic changes within the way we use some instruments, some systems, or the way we engage with ourselves. There could be some changes, and if you don't have uh, reflective action or reflexive action to be able to adapt to this situation, you will not be able to make the most of your life. So for me, what I do is to have a 5 yearly plan. That is my longest long-term plan. And within those 5 years, I have things that I want to accomplish. And once I begin to approach the accomplishment of those things, then I set a new target for myself. And that is how I have been doing, and it has been very helpful for me. So you need to work towards your goals and objectives. Somebody said, if you don't have a goal, you will be a goat, because anywhere will be an open door for you. You will just think every open door is a door to pass through. But when you set your goals, you know certain areas it should not be the area you should exert your energy. There are some things I don't even bother myself doing anymore, because that is not my area of focus. That is not in the interest of where I am going. So my focus solely is on where I am going. And then you need to put yourself in a position whereby you set out goals and objectives. It could be a daily goals, it could be a weekly goals, it could be monthly goals, And it could be yearly goals like I've just shared with you. And then you work towards them systematically until you accomplish them. And once they are accomplished, don't you can celebrate for a while, but don't celebrate and think you have arrived. Begin to set new ones. Then number four, the fourth thing you need to do to promote your mental well-being is that you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. I cannot overemphasize this enough. You need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. The reason why many people are in trouble with their health today is because of the habit of they have developed a very chronic habits of living their life in a very dangerous way. There is an habit that they cannot help. It is they do things that is injurious to their health, that is not in the best interest of their health, and they don't give a damn about it. They will continue to do it, believing that they have their own life to live, but at the end of the day, the end of such a lifestyle is going to be a pitiable is going to be a pitiable situation. So you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You need to quit smoking if you are smoking. You need to quit drinking if you drink alcohol too much. You need to quit uh, following women if you are such a person who love to flirt with women. uh, Likewise, in the opposite direction, if you are a lady who loves to flirt with men, you need to stop it. Develop and maintain a healthy lifestyle, because these are some of the things that ultimately culminate into depression over time when they begin to bring the baggages that we do not need in our life. They begin to bring it into our life. Number five, you need to bring, yeah, I cannot emphasize this uh, less than what I'm going to say. You need to build strong relationship with God, with your family, and with friends. Those are the three levels of relationship you need to maintain. You need to maintain a relationship with your creator. You need to maintain a relationship with your family. Don't be a solo man. You need to maintain a relationship with friends. When I mean friends, I mean valuable friends, people that are contributing to you positively. You need to maintain the right relationship with them. It will help you a lot. That is one of the ways where how you can maintain or promote mental wellness. Another thing you need to do to promote your mental wellness is to create a financial budget. You need to create a financial budget. It is surprising to know. Well, it is not surprising to know. It is important to know that sometimes financial burden can be a part to mental depression. If you don't have economic power, if you don't have economic strength, if you don't have financial strength to meet your daily needs, sometimes they can lead to mental depression. And you don't want this to happen to you. And that is the reason why you need to create a budget. Don't spend beyond what you have. Always control your expenditure within the limits of the income you have. Don't spend above what you are earning. When you do so, you are endangering your mental well being. So you need to create a budget for yourself, and you need to live within that budget. There is no money that you cannot budget. There is no level of income that you have that you cannot use to create an effective budget for yourself. All you just need to do is to live within your means. Don't live if you are earning 100,000 naira per month, for example. Don't live like somebody who is earning 1 million naira per month. You have two different incomes. You cannot afford to live the lifestyle of somebody who is earning 1 million when your own income is just 100,000. You just have to live within your means. Then, number 7, you need to volunteer for a cause that you believe in. If there is any community service, any neighborhood service that you believe in, that you believe can help people, that can help the society, that can build cohesion, unity, that can promote peace and progress within your community and society, you can volunteer for such services and use your time in those endeavors to create a positive impact within the society. Then, number 8, you need to learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation is very, very important. Sometimes you need to create a moment of solitude for yourself. You see, the moment of solitude is not a moment of loss. People may think you are losing or you are not relevant when you are in solitude, but that is the moment when the best that is yet to come out of your life, that is when they are fashioned. In the moment of solitude, in the moment of meditation, in the moment of mindfulness. You need to cultivate mindfulness. You need to learn to just be with yourself and think deeply about how events in your life are unfolding, how they are shaping out. You need to learn to cultivate how to do that. Then, number 9, you need to learn to exercise regularly. Well, I'm going to confess this is one of my own weakness. I don't get enough time to exercise. Maybe I would say I do the basic one, I'm always active. That is very true about me, always active. But to have the uh, regulated, regular, habitual, regular exercise, that is where personally I am struggling. I'm struggling over that because I keep thinking, I keep saying to myself, I don't have time, I don't have time. But the truth is, for you to maintain a, a comfortable mental wellness, you need to learn how to exercise regularly. You need to learn how to make your blood to flow seamlessly. Then number 10, you need to get enough sleep. Another confession I want to make here. This is another area where I struggle a lot because by nature, I'm not an early sleeper. I don't go to bed until around past 12, sometimes 1, sometimes 1:30. Even yesterday, before I slept yesterday, it was already around 2 a.m. this morning. And by 7:30, I was already awake again, or 7:30, I was already awake. So, and it is because of the way my body functions. I love to work deep And then I don't go to bed until I really feel sleepy to sleep, because I can't imagine just lying down on the bed and just tossing up and down on the bed, not being able to sleep. So in order not for that not to happen, I keep myself engaged with activities until I really feel I want to sleep. But that is not a good idea. I must tell you the truth. It's not a good idea. You need to get regular sleep, at least between 7 and 8 hours sleep. Never mind those who tells you you need to starve yourself of sleep. It's not in your best interest. You need to get a good sleep. It is part of nature. It is to keep you rejuvenated. It is to keep you effective for the next day. And if you keep endangering what will keep you effective for the next day, you know what you are doing? You are simply cutting short your life, and you don't want that to happen to you. So you need to get enough sleep, and I cannot overemphasize this. The number 11, you need to engage in activities that brings you joy. Activities, for me, one of the things that gives me joy is reading. I love to read a lot. I have read a lot of books throughout my life, and I still love and enjoy reading them. Sometimes, if I want to, I can do, uh, I can listen to some of the books if I don't really have the time to sit down to read. I do listen to books at times, and I spend time listening to what other people has to say. I spend time listening to other people's podcasts. I spend time listening to the brightest mind in our society. I love to hear what they have to say on specific issues that are of interest to me. So you need to keep doing this. And doing this can keep you in a very superb mental uh, well being. If your own is to paint, just continue in the art of painting. If your own is to play music or play some musical instrument, you need to continue to do this exercise because they have a way of helping you to live healthy. And lastly, number 12, if you are really struggling with your mental wellness, then you need to learn how to seek for professional help. It is not wrong to seek for people who can help you. It is wisdom to seek for help when you need help. It is foolishness to scorn what can be of help to you. Don't mind what people are saying. When you discover that you are not functioning at your best, maybe it is time to seek a therapist, to seek a mental health coach, or to seek somebody who can hear you and really listen to you and help you grow out of that crisis that you are currently going through. And that is why you need to seek for professional help if you think you need one. And this is where I will be drawing today's uh, uh, cutting on this podcast. I hope you have been thoroughly blessed. I want to encourage you to keep yourself engaged with our executive wellness podcast. There is one that is coming in another 2 weeks' time. It is called Leadership Blueprint, and I'll be on the I'll be live on Zoom with one of my very good friend, and we are going to be co-hosting that program together. It's going to be another wonderful time because I believe you deserve the best, and that is why we have decided, and I have decided to give you the best in 2025. Hope to see you next month for another edition of my monthly executive wellness podcast. And also, I want to encourage you to keep listening to our short version of executive wellness podcast and our executive leadership podcast. Keep listening to them, keep engaging with us, keep subscribing, keep liking our messages, our videos, keep commenting on them. Let's get together. Let's engage with one another, and together we can make the most of our life. Hope to see you next time. God bless you. Bye bye.